And good evening, everybody, and welcome to this week's edition of Hawk Talk. We're back with you tonight talking IUP basketball of all kinds. I have two coaches with me tonight. They're double teaming me this evening is what they're doing. You can listen on U92.5. You can pick us up online on U92radio.com and go to the U92 Facebook page and find the link there and go from there. We're just all over the place. But we talk IUP basketball, and wow, is this fun to talk about. Coach Tom McConnell, women's coach, is with me right now, off to an 8-0 record, and this is exciting, isn't it, Coach? It's really been good up to this point.
It is. You know what's funny? I'm just thinking, you and I, because of the break in the action last year, we couldn't do this for over a year, and now we've done it 3. This is our 3rd time in 4 days. So that's a good thing. It's good to be back with you. Yeah, but a good start for our team. Really proud of our group, the way that they continue to work, continue to grow, continue to get better. You know, we had a workout today, day before final exams, and I just told them how proud I was and I am of them. You know, we had a 10-day swing there where we played Salem, went home for Thanksgiving, quick break with their family, came back, practiced for 2 days, on a bus out to Ohio, played a good Ohio Dominican team, tough game there, came back, practiced. A few days later, driving out to the East Coast to play, in Philadelphia and Kutztown against 2 really good teams. And I just love the way that they competed, worked, prepared, and, so just a joy to coach that group and watch them, meet those challenges head on.
One of our listeners here already gave me a question for you. Do you have a plan and strategy for getting your team off to a better start? I mean, this is after down 19 points, my goodness. And it was like, I don't know what's going to happen here. What did you say to the team at halftime?
Well, first thing is, to answer the question, we have to do a better job defensively of guarding the three-point line. The other night, both teams came out and knocked down a number of threes early, and you just can't do that. And we really dug ourselves a hole, and so we have to have more of a sense of urgency to guard the line and really get stops out of the gate early. The second thing I think we focused on tonight is we really broke down our offense and really tried to show our players, here's who we want to get the ball. Here's what we're looking for in this situation. So we're trying to be more intentional right out of the gate. This is the play we want to run. This is the option that we're looking for to get certain players the ball in the right spots at the right time. And then the other thing, tonight what we did was we normally come out and we shoot a lot before we practice. We do 20 minutes of shooting, stretch. So they're on the floor a good 30 minutes. And we've been doing this for a number of years. We just like to shoot. Well, tonight we just did a little shooting, stretched, and we came out and we went right into our competitive drills, playing a lot, and try to train them to, you cross the line, now you got to be ready to play right away. There's no warming up. There's no feeling it out. You got to, from the very beginning, let's attack, and so hopefully with those adjustments we'll be more efficient coming out of the gate.
Is there a time when you come out and you're shooting before get on the floor before a game that you have too much time? You don't want to wear anybody out, but you have that down to a certain time strategy, don't you?
Yeah, there's a plan in place. You want to, we always take the floor 60 minutes before we tip off. We stretch, we do number of drills, and then the team will go back in, and so you have a routine. Well, one of the things that happened on the road, and we talk about this all the time, you really have to be flexible. You have to be adaptable, and we had a 5:30 tip-off at Kutztown. And the 5:30 tip-off at Westchester. But we checked out of the hotel at 11 a.m. and we didn't have a game until later that evening. And so our players ended up sitting around in the lobby of the hotel for
I was sitting with them, and it was a long, drawn-out
for a
thing.
good 3 hours.
Oh, goodness, yes.
And so we always say keep your eyes on your vision, not your circumstances. Those weren't ideal circumstances, but you've got to be flexible and adaptable and, to be able to overcome those kind of inconveniences.
I could go along with that. I could just see where you got to get back in the groove. You got to start over, get your mindset and everything going. 8-0 coming into the break now, for finals and not playing till next Tuesday. We'll get to those teams in just a few moments. Coming into the season, did you have some thoughts about who's going to play point guard? Maria Cerro had been there. You lost some people. You got this young lady, Kira Bachman, came in. Now, what I saw over the weekend, boy, it's great. You have them both because they both played well.
It's really a good sign. I thought against our first game, Kutztown on the road, that Maria was just terrific, ran the show, got the ball where it was supposed to be, ran the break, did a great job in the offense, scored for us. And then the next night, Kiera was able to do the same thing, scored the basketball. They're different players, but both of them are both spark plugs, good leaders, and they work so hard and they push each other. And there may be times during the year where we end up playing both of them, at the same time. But right now we're just, think that Courtney and Justina and some of the other guards are playing well, and so but between Maria and Kiera, I think they've both have done well and given us some good minutes.
Yeah. Well, you always like to have depth, and you never know if you're going to have it or not. And you had some people that were on this team last year and now. But what I'm getting to is the fact that you got a lot of help from the bench over the weekend in each game.
And you need those in those crossover games. You're going back-to-back players, not easy, for a player to play 30-plus minutes and then have to turn around and do it again the next night after traveling a little bit. So it was really a great thing, and it's one of my favorite things is when players that have are really selfless and accepted their role and have a team-first mindset have big nights and come off the bench. So to see Tiara Preston get a career high, in front of her family and friends at Kutztown, just for me, I just love that. Thought Tiara Preston, I thought Michaela Lovelace, same thing, had a huge game. Elena Cardona, terrific night. And then the very next night, Raja Fink has a big contribution for us, 12 points off the bench. Kiera Bachman, same thing. So that just makes us stronger. It makes us better when you got players that you can go to if somebody, is not in a rhythm or doesn't have it going that night, that you can count on them to do that.
It was interesting, too, because Raja's sister is on the Westchester team. I bet they had a nice conversation afterwards.
Yeah, the whole family was there, so it was a lot of fun.
Well, the other thing that she gave you was just a lot of energy. And when you get behind and you're trying to catch up by 19 points little by little, it was infectious with the other players. Besides the 12 points.
She can score the ball, and she's a high-energy player, high motor. And I don't know if many people know, but she's had some little bit of misfortune this fall. She suffered an illness and was out 2 weeks, and then she came back, and then not too long after that had a concussion. So she's just starting to hit her stride, starting to get back and get into rhythm with her teammates, and I just expect her to just keep growing and getting better and better.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up, because these are things that the average fan doesn't know. So, well, why isn't this person playing better or more?
Right.
There are reasons behind it. This was a homecoming for your assistant, Camden Bonner. She was a star at Westchester.
That's right.
I got a chance to talk with her and run a halftime with her. She had her family there. And I know I could see beforehand, even before we went on the air, the people that she had associated with before. And it was just an emotional time for her. I just wonder, what was she like on the bench? Anything different? Or was she all business until after the game?
No, she's all business. She's very professional. She would never allow, that to interfere with, get her emotions in the way. But I thought it was really special. I thought that Westchester handled it beautifully. When they announced her name, they, commented on how she played there and how much she meant to them. And I had a flashback. It was so funny. I'll share this story with you. When we played at Penn State, an exhibition game a number of years ago, and when Kelly was on staff. So it was
Kelly
Mazzani. It was a homecoming for Kelly. And we go back and we play Penn State, and they give Kelly a big welcoming. And after the game, the sports information director, when we went to the press conference, asked me, said, "Do you mind if Kelly comes to the press conference?" First time in the history of basketball that an assistant coach gets invited to the press conference.
Did they invite you?
Well, I went, and they asked me one question, and then it was all Kelly.
All
Kelly. That's all they wanted to know, but they didn't even care if I was there. We had fun with it. But I was just glad at Westchester there was no press conference with just Cam. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But no, I really enjoy those nights, and I think it's a lot of fun for them. And, I think when you go back to a place like that, you want it just a little bit more maybe than you do some other games, So we were glad to be able to get it for her.
Somebody I wanted to bring up and follow on that is your other assistant, Lexi Griggs. And here she was making all these arrangements, and she was helping me out when we're leaving and all this and food and so on. And then she couldn't she was sick.
She wasn't feeling well.
Yeah.
And she's back at practice today, feeling much better. We're glad, but we're not whole when Lexi's not there. We're not the same. Our players, especially our post players, really appreciate her, and they count on her for that inspiration and pouring into them. And just she's always able to add a little bit of something from her playing experience that just makes them better. So we're glad she's feeling better. We're glad she's back.
I got to mention, why not Courtney Alexander? I mean, she is starting to get in a groove. I know she's had a slower start. You might talk about that because of the injury, but I look back. 2 third quarters, she had 25 points total there.
Yeah.
What a weekend she had that really helped you guys, go to 8-0. But she had to overcome a lot of, coming back from a couple of years ago.
Yeah, it was last March. I think it was last February maybe she tore her ACL.
Yeah.
And she worked so hard rehabbing, and just really happy for her that things went well for her with the rehab, and she was able to get back. And she's light years ahead of where we thought she would be at this time, Jack. They always say, that it takes about a year for you to feel like yourself again. And so it's been well under a year. We were hoping by January that she would start to come into our own. And but I'll tell you, she just has a lot of confidence. She believes, and she I give her a lot of credit because she, coming out of the gate, she had games where it wasn't falling for her. And she could have hung her head and got discouraged and start to pass up shots. But what's so great about her, she, we always talk about, be a confident goldfish. Confident goldfish. Believe, but let go of the last play. Let go of the last shot. Forget about it. It's done. Move on. And she has a gift. She's able to do that. And you combine that with her work ethic and that quick release that she has. When she gets it going, it's a lot of fun. So what's starting to happen now is, and we're starting to practice this way today and moving forward, teams are starting to deny her and trying to limit her touches and saying we're going to make other people beat us. So we have to be ready for that and counter that and be able to create some scoring opportunities for her and enable our other players to be able to score when it's not there for her.
We John put together some video on Courtney. Of course, she had among her 28 points, her career high. But
see, Maria did a great job of finding her in transition right there. Once again, Justina found her, and she just catching it in rhythm on the break, and and there's that quick release that we're talking about. Just very confident. And so shortly after that, now they put a player on her and said, You don't guard anybody else. You don't worry about helping. You shut out Courtney. And so now that's where we have to really help her get some looks when teams start to do that, and help our other players and put them in a position when she's taken out of the game like that to step up and make some plays.
Yeah. We're with Coach Tom McConnell, the women's team, nationally ranked 8-0. As we get ready for action, a lot of it will be coming your way next week. It's finals week. We're going to be back with Hawk Talk, and we hope you'll stay with us. We're on U92.5, U92Radio.com, and on the U92 Facebook page. We'll be back with the coach right after we take this time out.
Kenley Insurance is a family-owned and operated insurance broker located in downtown Indiana at 689 Philadelphia Street.
Hi, my name is Nicole Kenley, a licensed insurance agent with 15 years of experience in the industry. We offer many solutions such as home, auto, renters, life, flood, and many more specialty products.
Hi, my name is Sam Kenley. We are a partner with over 30 A-rated companies such as Progressive, Travelers, Allstate, MetLife, and Nationwide, just to name a few.
Please call 724-216-0972 for your free insurance review.
Hi, this is Zach, and welcome to Gingerbread Man Running Company, proudly located in the heart of Indiana on Philadelphia Street since 2009. We offer the top models from the best brands of running and walking shoes. Stop in today for your free gait analysis from our expertly trained staff. We are happy to help solve any foot or shoe issue you may have. Please visit our website for more information. Gingerbread Man Running. Catch us if you can.
Welcome back to Hawk Talk. Jack Benedict with women's coach Tom McConnell, 8-0, nationally ranked, and of course a little break now for the week with finals week, and then we get back into action next week. I'm going to talk about some of the other teams here in just a couple of minutes. There are some really good teams out there, but as we mentioned, with an 8-0 record coming into the season, you and I have talked about this before. You started practice officially the middle of October. When you looked at your roster and thought, well, here's strengths, here's some weakness, and so on, does it surprise you that you're actually 8-0?
If I'm being honest,
Sure, be honest.
You know what I mean? I try not to think about that, but because you just don't know. There were so many unknowns going in. Will Courtney be healthy enough to play?
Sure.
We had some players last year, Gina and Kiera. They didn't have a freshman season, and so what was their contribution going to look like to the team? We knew we had 3 seniors in Courtney, Justina, and Maura that were a really strong nucleus, but everybody else was now going to be taking on a role that was going to be unfamiliar to them. So there were a lot of question marks going in. But the one thing that was evident early was how hard they would play, how committed they were on the defensive end. I think that's one of the things that's helped us hang in there early with some games. We've had a lot of close games, is how well and how committed our team has been on the defensive end. I think up until the Westchester game, they've played feisty, gritty, tough, hard-nosed defense, and so that's kept us in it and given us a chance now as our offense continues to evolve and to grow. Who was going to score the ball for us? That was a question.
Sure.
And so we're still a work in progress, and we're still trying to find, I think, our offensive identity, but boy, as long as they play hard like they're playing and they're being unselfish and just really working hard the way they are, we'll just continue to grow and get better.
Even in the game where you got down by 19 against Westchester, had to come back little by little. We got a little bit closer at halftime. Tony and I, and particularly Tony, had mentioned, they're not really playing that bad defensively. And after all, you're holding teams to under 50 points a game. That's remarkable. So I guess what you're saying is if you work hard enough, especially on the defensive end, that can help your offense.
Yeah, that's what we've been able to do, and we've been consistent on that end. And with some of the slow starts, we've had spurts where we don't score as much as we'd like to. We're not as efficient, but that's coming because we have players out there that can score the ball. So I think the the more we define roles and the players gain more confidence in what their role is and what the expectations are, I think we'll become more consistent on that end.
I had a fan earlier today, knew that the coaches were coming on, so had a question for each of you. And the one he had for you was, how have the high school kids making official college visits changed? How's this changed during this pandemic situation we've had?
That's an interesting question. During the pandemic, it was, as I look back, there were times when we couldn't even bring them on campus. A lot of it was through Zoom and that kind of thing.
Sure.
And then as things started to open up, we would bring them on campus, but it was limited in what we could do and where we would take them, and to a meal in North Dining Hall looked different than it was a year ago. There was social distancing going on. Normally we would want them to spend time with our players, and get to know them, in a setting outside of the KCAC, and that was limited. We had to limit those kind of things, and so it definitely impacted it, and it was different.
Yeah.
And so this year we've kind of gotten back to more of a normal routine, and we're able to do more things with them, and so it's been a lot better.
You have the experience of coaching at different levels, and men's and women's teams, which is kind of unusual, I think, in most cases. So what about the differences here as far as the approach surrounding these two? I know I notice differences with the teams when I'm traveling, just different approaches as eating procedures, or, who's acting up or who isn't. And what about coaching?
I think you would be a better person to ask, because you get to interact with both. I'd love to hear your take on that. And I'll tell you, I try to coach them like they're my daughters, and coach them in a way that I would want somebody to coach my daughter. And after a while, when you're on the floor, you're not thinking men, women. It's basketball, and they're competitors, and they have a desire to be their very best, and they want pushed and they want challenged, and I think that's all the same and very very similar, and you really it goes away after a while. You're not even thinking about it, but I really enjoy it. I'm thankful that I have the opportunity to do it, and I look at it as a calling or a vocation where I can just really have an opportunity to impact young people, in this case young women, while through basketball.
Yeah.
And so we try to do a lot of things outside of the court.
Yeah, togetherness.
Yeah, and not only where we're building togetherness, we're building unity, but things where they're learning life lessons and different things that it takes to be successful and to lead impactful lives.
I had an opportunity to have breakfast with Steve Murray, the commissioner, on the road trip this past weekend, and you were there at the time, and he had mentioned about women's basketball, and with it coming into its own in the early 70s, they're going to have a sports day for women early February. Kutztown wore their jerseys 1971, I think, is when they started. And I think that's great. And from the standpoint of the improvement of the athletes and women's basketball, it's light years difference than it ever was. It's incredible how good that Leah Johnson was just unbelievable the other day against you guys.
Yes, very good. Very special player.
Yeah. So,
but, I've grown up around it. Our family.
Sure.
I love to tell the story whenever I get the chance. I mean, it's how my parents met. My mother was playing in a game in Lawrenceville in the Pittsburgh area, and my father was in the stands. And he kept calling out, "Hey, number one, hey, number one." Well, next thing you know, he walked her home, and the rest is history. And I have 5 sisters who all played, and some of them are coaching. And so, grew up with it and just been a big part of our life, and just really fortunate to be able to, coach some outstanding players.
And your parents are great fans. They come and
they love it.
Yeah,
they love it.
They have
yeah.
to. With you probably have a basketball at the table at Thanksgiving.
Yeah,
I don't know.
we weren't on the bus 5 minutes on the way home from Westchester the other night, and my phone rang, and it was my parents.
There you go.
What are you trying to do? You're giving us a heart attack.
Oh, well, next week you've got Millersville, and we've got men and women, Millersville, and then the crossover coming our way, Shepherd, Shippensburg. Those are the 3 best teams in the East.
Really good, really strong.
Yeah.
Really strong. So
nothing is, I had their records here, and when you take a look at them, they're, of course, in the West, they're good teams too, but Shepherd's undefeated at this point too, so a lot of tests there.
Yeah, it's it'll be a good challenge for us, and we're not even right now. The focus this week, final exams, and when we do practice, we're just really focusing on us right now and trying to get better, and focus on the areas where we need to improve, and then over the weekend we'll start to prepare for our first one, Millersville.
Yeah. Are there any teams in the West that have surprised you? So, we knew that Cal and Gannon were going to be very, very good. I look at Slippery Rock at 6-2. Is that a surprise?
No, we scrimmaged them last year, and so we got a glimpse of some of their new players and who they have and what they could be, and so no, it doesn't surprise me at all.
Well, it's going to be great for the fans because it's time to get back and bring, that crossover weekend for all teams. Everybody has to do it, but when you have to do it on the road, it's tough. And I don't know how you guys get through it.
I give our players a lot of credit.
Sure.
It's one of, and people do it different ways and everything. We kind of just take it one at a time, and we just focus on that first one. And give all our attention to that first team that we're going to play. And then when it's over, then we'll go to work. And one of our assistant coaches, will take the first game and scout it, and they'll have them down. And the other assistant coach, for example, like Cam, will take then Westchester, and she knows them really well. And so they're preparing. But the team itself, we just focus one at a time.
Well, this has been great. The first 8 games, and I know the fans, and we're all looking forward to the next step. I guess you kind of put the season, it's fragmented because of the way the situation is with finals, and you have that big opening for everybody, and then you pick up in January where it really gets hot and heavy in January and February. So you kind of take it in segments, don't you? Yeah,
and it's one of the things I admire about our players is the sacrifice that they make. It's a long season. You go through Thanksgiving break. They're here over Christmas break for a good 3 to 4 weeks without the rest of the student body here. So they really make a lot of sacrifices to be a part of something special. And it takes a great commitment on their part. And so I have great respect and admiration for the sacrifice that they do and how hard they work, and able to really excel the way they do, Jack, in the classroom and then on the court. I just marvel at how they do it.
Yeah. Coach, thanks for coming over.
My pleasure.
We're great to have an update. We'll be looking forward to the next set of games coming up, and we'll talk more on Hawk Talk. Okay?
Sounds good. Thank you, Jack.
Okay,
always great being with you.
We're going to hear more stories.
Sounds good.
I'm sure. All right, we'll be back with Coach Lombardi, and on the men's side of things, too. Thanks to Coach McConnell. We'll be back in just a moment on Hawk Talk, coming your way on U92.5, U92Radio.com, and on the U92 Facebook page. Just go to the link there, and you'll find us. We'll be right back.
The Co-op store has the largest selection of IUP gifts and apparel. The Co-op is always there with its convenient location and hours. The Co-op store has been serving IUP and the Indiana community since 1933, and all profits are returned to the students through campus programs and activities. The Co-op has all your campus needs from the dorm to the classroom. Visit us online at www.iupstore.com.
Hey everyone, this is Ryan at Four Wheeling for Less, your local ATV and side-by-side dealership. We specialize in buying, selling, and servicing all major makes and models. In our sales department, we offer financing, warranties, and purchase appraisals. Our service department will keep you up and running for your next adventure, and our parts and accessories department can help you find whatever you're looking for. So whether you're looking to buy, sell, trade, or get service work done, visit our website, or give us a call, or stop by today.
I'm with the voice of the IUP Crimson Hawks, Jack Benedict. And Jack, finally, you will be back.
Jack Benedict here, and we're on Hawk Talk, and we just had our talk with Coach McConnell, and this is live stuff we do. See, now we switch over to the other side of thing.
It's nice to have a warm seat, Jack.
Nice. Yeah, Coach McConnell said he was going to do that, warm that up for you.
Yeah.
Coach Joe Lombardi, everybody. You folks heard of this guy, that's for sure. And this is it's really great to have both you guys in here and bring all our fans up to date of what's going on with these two teams. And we've got two nationally ranked teams, two teams that are undefeated. That even adds to it. But you've got to be happy with that past weekend, like Coach and I were talking, you and I have talked about. That's not easy to go. Well, the crossovers are bad enough, but when you have to go away and take on two pretty good teams, nice job this weekend. Yeah.
Well, thanks, Jack. We appreciate it. We're very fortunate, and to have played well on both nights, and kudos to Kutztown and Westchester. They both came out very strong in both games, and I think over time, we just kind of wore them both down, and
Yeah.
Westchester's really a young team. I think they're really talented. They're kind of young. They came out and really played well the first 10 minutes, scored the ball extremely well, and I think then once some of that early minutes, a lot of teams when we play, they seem to rise up. Mm-hmm. Shots go in. They play with great energy. You got to weather that. It's almost like the first quarter every game you got to weather, and then we were able to settle in and kind of control, I think, both games.
Well, when Manigo, the big guy, and they got a lot of big guys,
Yeah.
freshman, boy, if he's 260, but he is agile, but he came up with the 2 fouls, so that, and then they bring a guy named Littles, and he's not little.
He was the biggest, I think, player we've ever played against at this level.
Is that right?
Yeah, he had to be 270, 275, yeah. And just, very well proportioned and built and strong.
Reverse layups. I mean, he was agile.
Yeah. You know what? He hasn't. I don't know if that was his best game or we brought out the best in him. we do that to people sometimes, but he was very big. I mean, not as big as Kofi at Illinois, but not too far behind.
Not too far behind. Okay, I got to get an update from you, and the fans want to know about Shondell as he went down with about 9:50 to go. In fact, we even have the video on it that we picked up because I had to look myself on a breakaway on a fast break, and he got squeezed in between a couple of guys on an attempted layup. First of all, what is his... They're going to show it right here. But,
yeah, I've seen it.
Yeah, I know you've seen it many, many times. What's the latest on Shondell? Do we have an update on where he stands right now?
We don't have it. The doctor looked at him yesterday, but without an MRI, we can't really confirm anything. Mm-hmm. There is potential there for a torn ACL, so we'll just have to wait till verification from the MRI comes and move forward with whatever it is.
Go from there.
Whatever they find out, start rehabbing, and hopefully the rehab's a couple weeks, and if it's not, if it's a year-long rehab, then he's played under. The NCAA allows you to redshirt if you played under 30% of your games.
I was going to ask you what's next on it.
Yeah,
okay.
So we've played 7 games, so that gets under the 28. That's 25% on the nose. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So if you'd have played 2 more games and it happens, then you can't get a red shirt. So if he can't play, obviously you really feel for him. It's really disappointing and feel for the rest of the team. But it's all part of sports, and we'll just he'll have to learn how to live through it, and he'll learn something. There's something for him to gain from it and grow from it. The same thing will be with the rest of our guys. So that's what sports teaches you, how to deal with some adversities that are important and mean a lot to you. Mm-hmm. But there'll be greater adversities as you go through your life, other than relative to the sports.
Well, you had to make adjustments when Tommy went down, Tommy D. Yeah. And he's come back. I mean, he's playing lights out. I'm sure that was pretty tough for him.
Yeah. We went 13 years without anybody having a season-ending injury.
Is that right? 13 years.
Well, let me take that back. Devon Cottrell had one too. That was about. But it's only been Devon, and out of the 15 years I've been here, it's only been Devon, Tommy, and hopefully we don't put Shondale in that category. So we've been blessed when it comes to that. But it happens to other teams, and it's all happens. College, professional, part of sports.
So now we're always making adjustments, whether it's during the game, before, after, whatever.
Yeah.
Fortunately, you have some people on the bench, and it was great to see that Uzi came through and did a good job for you in a limited number of minutes. He had like 6 rebounds and whatever.
Yeah.
And 8 rebounds. Yeah. Those stats were wrong anyway. I was looking at them. They gave
Sorry,
him
Jack,
wrong them. No, that's okay. That's okay.
It was his birthday, though. So maybe I gave him 2. Maybe he had 6 because of his birthday. I gave him 2 more.
Tell the story that you told me on the post game for the fans didn't hear about him and the way he approached the team.
Yeah, sometimes you pour into these kids and you try to plant seeds and you try to help them grow in certain areas and help shape their perception, okay, and how they look at the world and look at the things around them. And it was his birthday, and so after we sang to him on the court at the shoot-around the day of the game, he said, "Coach, can I say something?" I said, "Sure. What do you want to say?" He said, "I just want to tell the team, how much they mean to me, how much I appreciate everything and their family, and I just love all you guys, and I'm just grateful for all of you, for everybody here that, is befriended me and helped me and cares about me, and to see young people talk like that, it's very heartwarming because we're trying to build that mentality of gratitude, okay, and humility, and to see them grow in those areas, and then to be able to articulate it, okay. A lot of them might feel that, but don't. It takes a little courage to kind of say that. You end up being a little vulnerable, okay, and especially on the guys' side of the ball, okay. Men don't want to show any vulnerability, so for him to speak from his heart like that really meant a lot. And it's kind of like we're going to win some games, we're going to lose some games, but more importantly, we're going to grow together and become a team, okay? Because we're on a roster, but we're still not a team, and all the ups and downs and experiences that we go through kind of pull that all together and galvanize you.
I had the opportunity, I think I had mentioned to you that I met him in the off season during the summer, and I just thought he was a real nice kid that really felt that he had found a family here.
Yeah, here's a kid who hasn't been home in 5 years, Jack. So he hasn't been home to see his family. He was going to try to get home this summer. I was concerned about COVID and the visa and different things like that. So. Sure. He has some relatives in the New York City area, okay, but it's different than not seeing your mom and your brothers and sisters and stuff like that. And so, another tip to hat to him is that, here's a kid that I don't know if, he didn't play much the game before or the last couple games, and yet he's all about something that's bigger than himself. He's all about the team. He's all about the process. And, I just appreciate the attitude that he has. And we've talked to him and said every game's not built for him. Sometimes we have to play smaller. And but that when there's big bodies out there, we're going to need him. And he was ready to play, tribute to himself. It's almost like, good thing in a game, good things will happen to people that he had a great attitude before the game, whether he was playing or not. And when when you extend yourself out like that, I think during sports and even during life, when you extend yourself to people, I think good things end up happening to you.
I don't know if you folks have heard, but today Armani Foster was named the PSAC West Athlete of the Week, second week in a row. This is all he did on the weekend. You know, this is he averaged 25.5 points, 8.5 rebounds, 3 assists, shot 53% from the field, and about 89% from the free throw line. But you know, he is amazing, and I know you don't like to point out, but he is part of this puzzle that we're talking about here, and he is just he is a player who doesn't, it seems like, care about these stats. He cares about his team.
Well, he's worked hard and he's motivated to you know, excel and stuff like that. But you know, he's adapting, you know, to a different role, and it's you know, when do I pass, when do I shoot, how aggressive do I be? You know, it's different sometimes being an off guard to a point guard. When you're an off guard, you kind of just look. You're not looking to make plays for each other. The stuff that we run is not set up where you got to make a lot of reads. Mm-hmm. Your read is know the bucket, see the bucket, and go to the bucket. You know, kind of how Shondale plays. But Monty's in a position where, you know, every time down the floor he's got to make a decision. Is the best decision me to score or me to pass? And there'll be nights where he only gets 12, 14 points. That doesn't mean he had a bad game. That just means the defense made him pass the ball more that night probably, okay? And there'll be other nights where, you know, where he can get 30. I knew he had a 30-point game, and, you know, at some point, you know, it was just a matter of time before that came up. And he'll have other games where he has 10 assists again. So, but it's a new experience for him. I think he's learning, he's growing, and you know, that's good to see him have a few breakthroughs like that.
I'm glad you kept him in long enough to get that triple-double.
Well, that was a couple games ago, and then
I know it was, but
yeah, we didn't talk about it last week, though, huh?
No, we didn't.
Because we weren't on.
No, we weren't
on.
We
Yeah, 2 weeks ago he had triple-double. And then he got his 1,000th point.
Yes.
At Kutztown. Mm-hmm. And then he got tied a career high, was it?
33.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So he's had some monumental experiences and games, but you know, those things open themselves up to guys that commit to the team and work hard, commit to the team, and winning helps make that happen. If we weren't winning, Jack, you might not have me here.
If we weren't winning, I might not have a job.
Yeah.
Who knows? All right, we're going to be back with Coach Lombardi in a moment, Hawk Talk, and we'll talk about games coming up. We have, finals this week, and then quite a few games at the KCAC coming up with good teams. Back in a moment with Coach Lombardi on Hawk Talk on and U92radio.com and on the U92 Facebook page.
Kenley Insurance is a family-owned and operated insurance broker located in downtown Indiana at 689 Philadelphia Street.
Hi, my name is Nicole Kenley, a licensed insurance agent with 15 years of experience in the industry. We offer many solutions such as home, auto, renters, life, flood, and many more specialty products.
Hi, my name is Sam Kenley. We are a partner with over 30 A-rated companies such as Progressive, Travelers, Allstate, MetLife, and Nationwide, just to name a few.
Please call 724-216-0972 for your free insurance review.
Hi, this is Zach, and welcome to Gingerbread Man Running Company, proudly located in the heart of Indiana on Philadelphia Street since 2009. We offer the top models from the best brands of running and walking shoes. Stop in today for your free gait analysis from our expertly trained staff. We are happy to help solve any foot or shoe issue you may have. Please visit our website for more information. Gingerbread Man Running. Catch us if you can.
Coach Joe Lombardi, we're glad to have you here and watching and listening as we talk IUP basketball, and certainly it's an exciting season here with a record of 7-0, nationally ranked, and 3 games coming up in the near future here, next Tuesday, the 14th, and then the following weekend. We'll talk about that in a moment. Got a question for you from the audience, as they say.
Sure.
If Shondale can't play for a while, who will get the minutes? How are you going to approach it differently? How are you going to handle that?
In that scenario, Kyle will play at the 3, okay? And, we'll probably see over the next 6-7 days, because I'm pretty sure he's going to be out for a couple weeks at the minimum.
Mm-hmm.
And KJ Rhodes, we'll be counting on, and Dallas Dillier, we were going to redshirt him. But,
yes.
But that's always been. He was hurt a lot in the preseason, so he's a potential
Dillard
fill-in.
was?
Yeah, he was hurt most of the preseason, just knees, ankles, just.
Tell us a little bit about him. I saw him on the trip, and I saw him, during warm-ups, practices and whatever. He's about 6'6". Looks like very.
No,
Right?
he's not that tall. He's like 6, maybe 6'3", Jack.
Oh, I've got. Oh,
No, you're
Dallas
thinking of
Dillard.
the other kid.
I'm thinking of
Dallas
the
is
other.
probably like 6'2".
Yeah,
Dallas is probably 6'2", but he plays bigger than that. He's very athletic, long arms.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, has very good defensive instincts and is a scorer, and so we'll just see how he fits in.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see how he fits in. Again, it's all pieces to the puzzle. We're very happy with Bryce and very happy with Kyle as far as fitting in up to this point with the guys that we have. They were great compliments coming in off the bench, and Bryce will continue to rotate in with David and Armani, and then Kyle will just play exclusively at the 3, where Kyle was playing some of David's minutes, and we'll need to get 25 minutes out of him. The guy doesn't make very many mistakes. He doesn't score the ball, but he's capable of scoring the ball. He's just a great guy to play with. And he makes other people around him better. Comes up with loose ball, comes up with second shots. Defensively, very active, understands, takes charges. He's really great. You know how you want guys to be great at their role? He's like great at his role. And I think, without Shondale in there, there'll be, we'll need time. We don't need anybody to change their game drastically. Armani might get a few more shots. Tommy, David, Ethan. So if he's taking 12 shots a game, there's 4 guys right there to just give you 3, and then whoever fills in for him, Kyle and KJ will get some shots too. So
look how Ethan filled in when Tommy went down too.
Yeah, it was a lot. He shocked us a little bit, Ethan. He surprised us the way he filled in. He was better, and initially he was good, and then towards the end of the year he was very good. Okay,
and he's very good right now.
Yeah, and so we'll see how things emerge with that, and been in the game long enough, Jack. You don't try to worry about stuff or figure it out too much. You just go with what's at hand, and you keep moving. You keep moving forward and coach the guys that you have, and continue to grow all of them. They all need to grow. They all can get better. They all can, get better physically. You can get better mentally in the next couple months.
Yeah. I have a question here. A fan had said, got to ask Coach a question. How has the pandemic altered recruiting the past 2 years since there were fewer AAU tournaments?
Okay. Let's go back 2 years ago. We brought in Tamawa and Enrique. Okay. And Tom was from England, but he was playing at a prep school in the States, and Enrique was from Spain. Mm-hmm. Both of them were totally off of film, okay, because when the pandemic hit in the springtime, when we signed them, weren't able to travel anywhere or go to any gyms and stuff like that. So that's how those 2 guys came about. Kyle the same way. So Kyle was in that class also, and it's funny, Kyle kind of recruited us. So you talk about good fortune, okay? He kind of. We used to live in Treesdale when I worked at Pittsburgh. And
I know exactly where it is, yeah.
So, he had some interest, and his dad called me, and his dad said, he wants to go to this prep school up in Erie, okay? He said, I don't want to pay $35,000 for him to go to prep school. He can go to IUP for 2 years and do that. So we gave him some scholarship money, and it kind of it's kind of very fortunate, and if we need to take better care of him a little bit too with that along those lines. His dad's bank account helping him out, but because he's very valuable piece in the puzzle.
Yeah.
And so he was in that class, and then Nolan. We didn't, Nolan wanted to come here too. He's from Cambria County there.
Yeah, Bishop Carroll.
And Bishop Carroll, and so we're real happy with those guys, and then last year we just they had AAU tournaments last spring.
Okay.
So we were able to get out and see people, and that's where we saw Dallas, and that's where we saw Demir at AAU tournaments. Dallas actually was in the spring, and Demir was more, he was a little bit later than that,
Later
actually,
on.
in the summer. So
That's interesting how we've had to develop here and adjust to all, everything that's going on. Let me bring up something here about the teams we're going to be playing.
okay.
Millersville next Tuesday, the 14th. Great start. What happened out there that they've become very, very good?
What happened?
They got some good players, huh? Nice, good coaches.
That's usually the first step. First of all, they got a good coach. Okay, Coach Stitzel out there is really understands, I think, how to build a program. Okay, he got good people in there, and he's developed them. Okay, and he's got some talent, and he's got a good eye for talent, and he's got a pretty good network, and so he's been able to get good players there. So first of all, it starts with a great coach. Then he's got good players. And I knew a couple years ago when we played them, it was only a matter of time before they were going to be one of the better teams in the East. So I'm not surprised by their ascent, and so they're I think they're a top 3 team in the East, and then there's no doubt, so it's a nice challenge for us. We're looking forward to playing them and whatever adjustments we have to make. We're going to have to play differently when Sean's out, Dale's out too. We're not going to play as fast. He was as good as anybody in Division II, probably in the open court and finishing and attacking the rim. And so we would just play fast and throw the ball ahead. For Jack to score 95 a game over a 7-game period, playing all Division IIs, okay, we don't have any Division IIIs on the schedule, and not pressing is an anomaly, okay?
It's
All right?
amazing.
Yeah, I mean, West Liberty does it. They press and they just give up buckets and they play like that. But for us to do that is, and so we don't. We're not going to try to ask someone to play like Shondale. We're going to have to play a little different. But we've done all right in the past, playing in the high 70s and 80s too. So
I'd say
I think we'll try to figure it out.
You know what? I'll tell you the stat that I like. 77% from the foul line. That's excellent. You were 28 for 32 the other night, I think, maybe it was, or whatever. But
I like 55% from the field.
55% from the field is good. There are a lot of good numbers here.
That'll put you not number 1 in the country, the top 2 or 3. But that's getting out and getting some good layups, and our defenses generate some of that too. So we have to continue to generate some points off our defense. And I think Dave Morris is the catalyst for that. And along with that, we have to get better overall in the half-court defense. So there's a lot of holes in there, but some of that might be playing fast, get you fatigued. So when you're running so hard, it's sometimes you give up a little bit on the defensive end. I hope we're not building bad habits along that line, but it's something you always got to work on as a coach.
Yeah. The crossover weekend with the Eastern teams coming here, you got Shepherd's 5-2 right now, and Coach Fight without his top player, arguably in Biss at the 500 mark, but with Shippensburg. So those are challenges too. And when you look at the records and you look at the teams, the West is very strong this year. You got a lot of good teams here.
Yeah.
Mercyhurst, California. I
Can
go
we
on.
wait a few weeks before we talk about the West?
Yeah, well, okay. Yeah,
Huh?
we can.
Yeah.
We've got time.
I can't worry about everything at the same
I
time.
know.
Jeez.
I'm throwing everything.
Now you got me thinking, worrying about Ship. What's Fight going to use that he learned here? What's he going to use that he learned here to beat us?
Yeah.
Now I'm going to having nightmares of that tonight.
Yeah. Well, this team is so much fun to watch.
Glad you enjoy it.
Yeah, I think the fans are just having a great time watching them, listening, watching them, and so on. You talked about how you're going to have to change it a little bit, but still, basketball. The athletes now in basketball are just unbelievable how they can play. You've been at the game for 40 years.
Yeah,
it's changed a lot. And
I've always wanted to ask you how was it when they had the peach basket?
Oh, that was tough. I was the guy that had I was the guy that had to go up and get the basket.
Yeah, you and Ron Thomas probably sat side by side at some of those games, and said. And we're critical, and probably we're both critical of the guy's two-handed form, okay, when they used to shoot like this, all right?
Yeah.
So,
hey, I'll tell you what was good. Your former players that came back. I don't know who all was there the other night at Western. Devontae was there, Chance.
Yeah,
of course,
Thomas
we've seen Thomas, TJ's been there, Thomas Young, and you mentioned about the other guys. It's great that players come back, see the current players.
Yeah.
I think that's terrific.
It's always good. And we had a guy that worked as a volunteer when I was coaching here as assistant, Andy Rowland. He came out to Kutztown, and it was good to see him. And I'll tell you what I remember. We beat Millersville. It was the first road win that I had as a coach at IUP, and we beat Millersville. And we hadn't won a lot of games. And him and his son at the time, he's out of college now, but this is 15 years ago. I don't know, he might have been 10, 9, 8. He came in the locker room, and our guys were doing this dance afterwards. I don't know. So
you got yourself a road win.
I don't want to talk about the dance in the locker room, okay? But it was a, it's always, sometimes it's more fun to win on the road because you kind of feel like challenge and you overcome some stuff. Sometimes we get a little complacent at home. And they're all fun. We try to appreciate them all, Jack. We don't assume anything, nor do we, expect to win. I don't want to say that. We expect to win every game we get into, okay, but we don't take the wins for granted.
There haven't been many college basketball teams over the years that have gone undefeated, and it's better.
This one won't either.
I think it's better that you lose a game or two here.
You think?
Yeah, but you know what? If you go undefeated, I'm all for it.
I don't think Bobby Knight in 77 wishes.
Yeah.
Is that it was 77, 78, 76?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I don't think he sits back here today and says, "Hey, I wish I would have lost one or two."
No, I don't think so. I don't think so.
Lose it. There is something to that, Jack. Winning by a lot can breed bad habits, and guys just don't listen as well to the coach. Okay?
When they win big.
Yeah, when you win. And, we got up 30 at Westchester, and today at film I wanted to get on them for certain things, and it's kind of like I'm probably just wasting my breath, okay? Because they're just gonna look at me and
they're going to say, Coach, we're up by 30.
What do you, so anyways, and that's reality.
Yeah.
Where, when they're struggling, anytime in life when people struggle, their ears are open a little bit more. Mm-hmm. Okay, that could be in sports or anything else. All right. So when it's going well, they have all the answers, or they don't come across arrogant like that. Don't get me wrong.
No, I know.
But
No.
they're kind of thinking they have it figured out a little bit.
Yeah.
So to be challenged a little bit in some of these games, was good for us.
Yeah. Thanks, Coach. Appreciate it a lot. It's been a good night.
Good. It's good. Always good spending time with you, Jack.
We love to do this, and we love to watch these teams play. And so,
thank you, and appreciate everybody. Hawk Nation, and everybody that supports us, and in a lot of different ways. Sometimes it's just supporting the scholarship program. We have people that support us academically. Okay.
Oh yeah.
And it's been a great community project, great community involvement. And speaking of involvement, we're going to do some community service tonight, Jack.
Okay.
I'm going to squeeze this in before you get off.
Yeah,
okay?
Go ahead. Sure.
we're all volunteering. They have pancakes for the students up at the dining hall tonight at 10. So our guys, they're going to put them to work, flip pancakes, hand out waters, whatever they have them do. So we'll be up there tonight at 10 at North Dining Hall. And then we're going to ring the bell for the Salvation Army on Wednesday. This is finals week, but some guys that have slots of an hour here and there. Mm-hmm. We go up to Walmart. FCA, we did it some last year, me and a few of the different players. We had a good experience. The players enjoyed it, actually. And so it helps the Salvation Army keep their costs down, and they have trouble finding people to do it, and people with enthusiasm to do it. So our guys have fun with it. FCA's we've worked in a lot of other athletes from some other sports. We appreciate their efforts.
Sure.
But we're going to try to get most of our guys up there sometime during the day this Wednesday, and then I don't know, maybe closer to Christmas too.
Okay, that's great. Just absolutely great. Thanks, Coach. Appreciate it.
All right.
Coach Lombardi, Coach McConnell, thank these guys. And we will see you next week with more Hawk Talk. Have a nice evening.
Thanks, Chad.
I'm glad you brought that up. Yeah.